everyone, welcome back to the Captain Logan Show. I am Captain Logan. Captain Logan Show now with 100% more Dan Torrey.
Hi, everybody.
What's up, Dan?
Not much.
Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah.
It's so good to have you. Look, it's Dan Torrey in person. I have come to Dan.
Yeah, this is my bedroom.
Where are we, Dan?
We're in New Hampshire.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yes.
That's where we are. Yeah.
Yes.
It's been between Boston and New Hampshire. I can never remember what
In
state
an undisclosed location in New Hampshire.
Yeah. It's a bunker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an above-ground bunker. And on the other side, not in the same place we are or the same state, is, as always, is my chat moderator and wonderful producer, DJ Martinez.
What's up, guys? I am in the same time zone for once as Cap, so...
That's true. I didn't even have to say be here at, like, whatever my time. Did that throw you off? Where you were like, oh man, I gotta start thinking like normal time.
Yeah, I guess. I clearly didn't think about it that much.
Yeah, well, yeah, I mean, you showed up on time, so so we're good. DJ, thanks for being here. Thanks for helping out. Dan, I'm so excited to have you. I don't think you've been on the Captain Logan Show yet.
I don't think I have.
Or have you? I can't remember. I mean, you almost were.
Yeah.
It was the night that we had all those OBS problems.
Yeah, and we were trying to make it happen, and it didn't happen. I think that's what
Tonight was, in fact, also a night we had all kinds of OBS problems, which is why you're looking at Google Hangouts, which is going away in less than 24 hours. There will be no more Google Hangouts. It is going away on August 1st, which I think is tomorrow.
Yes, today's the 30th.
That's tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
So no more of this. So we're going to have to make sure that the OBS thing works if we, at least when we want DJ. And we always want DJ. So,
wow.
Yeah. Anyway, folks, thanks for being here. If you're watching live, thanks for watching after the fact. If you're doing that, we are looking at your comments. They're right here on this handy-dandy, much larger screen than the one we're actually looking at right now. And if you have a question at any time during the show or a topic you'd like us to chat about for a few minutes, feel free to leave those in the live comments. We'll get to as many of those as humanly possible. If you want to make absolutely certain that what you want us to talk about is talked about, or just a fun comment you want to make sure that we read on air, you can leave a super chat, and that helps us a whole lot here on the channel, keeping things moving right along. We appreciate everybody that has ever done that, and we of course also appreciate you guys just popping in and hanging out with us. So once again, super chats if you want to make absolutely certain that your question gets read, and we have a few of those already right away. DJ, let's begin with a pre-written question, and then we'll jump to the super chats. Here we go. Are you ready, sir?
Engage.
It's time for an hour of fun. No, I'm the captain. I'm the captain.
I've got the fancy chair, so...
Oh, but mine adjusts, so it's better.
True.
All right, DJ, let's make it happen.
All right, thanks, Admiral Logan. First question. They're wanting you to talk about the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy thing. Have you heard about the streaming show?
No, I haven't. What?
Oh, sorry. I should have said that a little more enthusiastic then. They're making a Guardians of the Galaxy. No, they're making a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy streaming show. Oh,
that's so exciting. It's really funny because I just recently did a commentary on that with Adam. And we were talking about how great that would be as a streaming thing, and how I'd love to see it come back as a miniseries. Do we know any details at all, or is it just that? I've not heard about this yet.
Someone may. I do not. That's
okay, so I'm going to assume BBC. Well, you said streaming though, so like I wonder what platform.
Does BBC have a streaming thingy?
I don't think so.
I don't watch. I watch zero BBC programming, so I wouldn't know.
I don't know, but it would be kind of odd if we made it. Although I think the Dirk Gently show was an American show, so yeah, I have no idea. And obviously the film was an American-made film, so they may farm it out. But I immediately just assumed BBC would be making it, but then maybe not. So I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
Watch it be like CBS All Access or some streaming service no one wants to pay for.
Well, if CBS gets Hitchhiker, then all bets are off. That's never mind, I guess. Ooh, I'm excited about that. I hope if streaming service. If it's miniseries, I hope they adapt as much of it as they can get away with adapting. I think the later books are really hard. I think if you tried to do like So Long and Things Fell to Fish, it would be really strange. I don't know how you dramatize people flying because people learn how to fly by throwing themselves at the ground and missing.
How do they miss the ground?
That is Douglas Adams' unique sense of humor.
Oh.
And that's how flying works. You throw yourself at the ground and you miss, and now you're flying.
Oh, okay.
It's wonderful. But yeah, it gets really weird later on.
So that makes sense why that guy was throwing poodles out his window last night. Then
we were watching UHF last night. Yeah. But that's so interesting because I just brought Dan the first Hitchhiker because he's never read it before.
Yeah, that's a weird coincidence.
Yeah,
that it came up.
And then we just put out a commentary a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm excited to look into that. Thank you for the news. See, we come here sometimes to talk about news, and then sometimes we come here to learn the news, to get the news. Tonight on the news, and then it's just like an anchor staring at you, waiting for you to explain the news.
Someone genetically engineered in a lab to be a news anchor. Tonight on ABC News, you know, they all have that look and that voice.
CBS All Access News. All right, DJ, let's do some super chats.
All right, we got a $10 super chat from Christian Ogden.
Thank you so much. What's up, man?
Will Endgame lose some important / emotional weight when 10 more movies come out, and it's no longer the grand finale of the MCU's grand plan, but yet another chapter in it? I think it could happen. That's what he said. I didn't say that.
Yeah, that's going to just depend on who you talk to, of course. I think if people look at it the way Marvel is hoping they will, it will be like, okay, we have this, like, you know, big 10-year, 11-year run, this kind of first mega chapter of this big ongoing thing, and people will think of that as just, like, a really great, like, bookender. And I don't mean, like, bookends, but, like, end of a book, and then this is like the next book or the next volume of several books. But I still say they should have taken time off. I still say after Endgame it would have made a lot of sense to not put movies out for at least 6 months or a year. And I really wish that that's what they had done. But
I didn't like Endgame, so I don't care. But
yeah.
I don't. It didn't really have the impact on me that it had for other people. So if they make, and it's the same thing like if you read a comic book, right? Like, the great comic book stories are not cheapened by the fact that the Marvel Universe has continued past them existing. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think that's necessarily the thing that's bound to happen.
But there's also not a big comic event I can think of that is like the big culmination of everything that has ever happened in the universe, and you know, as if it was the end. Because like, if the MCU ended with Endgame, like, I think a lot of people would see that as a really good finale for just for the end of a franchise. Like, it feels like a franchise ender. It's not a thing you do in comics because you know that you're moving on, and people like regular moviegoers are not used to that formula.
Yeah, I suppose so. I guess I'm just saying, from like me personally, if I liked that movie, it shouldn't be cheapened by them continuing necessarily. I mean, if I liked that movie and there were things like in it that were like severely retconned and made worse that were in the Endgame or something, like I suppose I guess it all just depends on the execution.
And it depends on who you talk to, like I said. I think the thing that does have the potential to cheapen it to some degree is not dealing enough with the fallout, and I'm very concerned that we're not doing that. Dan's not seen Far From Home yet, so we won't talk about that. We're actually going to go together this week, but that movie deals with it some, but plays a lot of it for comedy, and I just don't see us ever dealing with it enough. And the reason I was more cool with that movie than you and Eric, or one of the reasons was because I appreciated the fact that it wasn't just a straight up reset button, which was not a given, and there were kind of some consequences. And even though most of the people that died, even outside of the disintegration, are coming back, I thought it was kind of bold and a little ballsy to go to keep the 5 years thing. Like, when we go 5 years in the future, I wasn't sure we'd stay there. And I thought it was really kind of nice that we stayed there, and then we got to deal with the fallout of that and move forward. And I'm afraid we're never going to do enough with it. We're going to adjust too quickly and get too used to it. It's just not going to be the big deal it should be.
Yeah.
And that's where it gets cheapened a little bit. So, yeah, story-wise especially. So, yeah. Let's get another super chat, Mr. DJ.
Super chat.
Real quick, they're saying that Hulu is producing the Hitchhikers.
Okay, yeah, I saw that. So, that's cool, but I can't believe Hulu would greenlight something as difficult to sell and with as relatively small as an audience as it has as Hitchhiker, and they passed on the Tick. Not okay with that. Really bothers me.
Do you think Hitchhiker has a smaller audience than the Tick?
Not necessarily, but the Tick was a TV show that a lot of people watched and liked. Okay, and we don't know numbers because none of these streaming services ever give you numbers, but it had something of a base, and it's crazy to me that it had, like, you know, it was a show that had sets and was just ready for more episodes.
Yeah.
And Hulu, Ben Edlund said he shopped around everywhere and nobody picked it up. And it's possible that just it wasn't a good fit for Edlund or whatever for some reason, but crazy to me that they would greenlight Hitchhiker, pass on the Tick. I think that's really interesting.
That is weird, yeah.
Yeah, hurts my feelings. But I get Hitchhiker out.
Yeah, it's like you get the choices between like one of your favorite things or, you know.
Yeah, but I already know one of them was good.
True.
All right, what else, buddy?
All right, Cap and DJ and Dan, how has your field of study affected your appreciation of the media that you consume? Example, law within the MCU. Your channel is awesome.
Thanks, man. That's a really cool question. You want to start?
Oh, yeah. All legal proceedings in film and television are ruined for me. None of them follow the rules of court proceedings. Literally none of them.
Yeah.
So, like, when you watch Daredevil, like, none of that is, like, because if you played by the real courtroom rules, the courtroom drama wouldn't exist. It would be boring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, like, well, not even that. Like, you have to ask the judge to approach the jury. You like most of the time when you're examining witnesses, you're like standing across the room. You're not like standing right at the witness, the witness stand. Like it just doesn't work that way. But like for dramatic effect, they do all that stuff because they want the witness to like be right in the face of the attorney and like they grill him and stuff. Like you can't do that. And like they ask leading questions all the time. You can't. It's just a mess. So I try to like separate my knowledge of those things from like things with courtroom drama in it, just because like I don't want everything to be ruined for me. You know what I mean? But like I think Daredevil's only really the only show besides like or the thing that's supposedly in the MCU. I guess it doesn't count now. Whatever. I don't know, but it was supposed to be in the MCU at least at the outset. And the Sokovia Accords in Civil War is the only legal thing that I think the Marvel Universe really deals with in the movies.
Not a whole lot, yeah. And of course, Jessica Jones says a lot of legal stuff. You've not watched it. Of course it does, because she has to do the law, because she's a private investigator.
Right. So, I mean, it's the same sort of effect that like my knowledge of all legal stuff ruins that kind of fictional stuff for me. It's not just like a Marvel or superhero universe thing. What about you? Like, as far as like, are there like things in like Marvel or like things you watch where like you're like, oh, writers don't do this?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, because what I studied was creative writing and storytelling, it makes me more critical of anything that is doing that.
Sure.
But as far as like writers in the things, the main I'm trying to. I guess the main thing is. I'm probably a little bit more critical of, like, writing that we get that we're told is brilliant. When you get like a voiceover in something, or you're reading a comic book and there's like internal monologue that is, not even like a journal or something, but just like somebody has written some prose and it's like a bestseller or something, or it's supposed to be really, really super brilliant.
Yeah.
But there's like a writer who wrote that, and his writing has to be up to snuff so that in the world he's writing, I buy that people think it's genius.
Yeah.
I almost would want to, if it were me, go to someone else and have them write those parts. But yeah, that can be problematic sometimes, and I guess like with the law, sometimes people will simplify how easy like rules and things, and like I don't know how easy it is to get published or to make a living writing, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't affect my enjoyment of watching stuff as far as when there are writers in things as much as it probably does you, because you're seeing that a lot more often.
Right.
And there's more of a specific concrete rule set in what you're doing.
Sure.
Mine's not a profession.
Right.
In the same way.
Do graphic designers and or martial artists make you angry in things, DJ?
Which has a big difference. Graphic design, I feel like in movies we're still like way behind on what design is, and it's like freelancers just like living in one-room apartments or like their mom's basement, and like it's not a real job when it's like the highest paid industry in the tech world right now.
It's the opposite problem of creative writing. It's like there's no way you're making a living doing that.
Yeah, so I think they're a little behind on that. Martial arts is definitely a lot more jarring because like, just seeing people doing horrible. Like I hate it when they let the actors do their own stuff because it looks horrible and they shouldn't be. Pacific Rim is like the most egregious thing ever when what's his face Charlie Hunnam has like that wooden sword fight with the girl and he just like does like a stupid little spin, and it's supposed to be super cool.
So, what's your opinion on Tom Cruise then?
Well, that's a little different. He doesn't really do martial arts stuff. He just does insane, crazy stuff that the stunt guys don't even want to do. So that's fine. He can do his own thing. I've heard stunt guys even talk about him like he does more like extreme.
So DJ, you're not like, that's not how you hold on for dear life on the outside of an airplane. That's not how that works.
Yeah, I have no frame of reference on that, so can't comment. But
interesting. I thought like in the Mission Impossible movies, he did like karate, like martial arts stuff. I don't know.
Not a lot of hand-to-hand stuff.
Really?
That's more like gunplay and.
I've seen like 1.5 of those movies, so I don't know what I'm
the most
talking
recent
about.
one is awesome.
I heard
that's
it was
the only
good.
one I've seen, and I loved it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome. I saw the one before that, and I thought it was pretty good too.
I've fallen asleep watching the first one 4 times, but I've not actually watched any of the other ones. Yeah.
Sounds like a very entertaining film.
I might have just been really tired all 4 times. I'm not sure. Okay, hey, let's do a pre-written question, DJ.
All right, this one's interesting to me. Which, because of the panel we have here, which Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comics do you prefer, the original Mirage comics or the IDW comics?
IDW.
Before we answer that,
Too late.
Dan's going to give us a quick plug for a video that's going to be coming out in a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Dan?
we did a video discussing the Ninja Turtles. We recorded it today, talking about like the future of the franchise because there was a bunch of rumors about them maybe getting like an adult dark television show on a streaming service.
Yeah.
So we kind of like speculated about that, talked about like what our favorite iterations of the Turtles and stuff were. So if you want to hear more about that answer in detail, we talk about it for an exorbitant amount of time. So,
but my answer is also IDW, and IDW's all DJ's red, I think.
Yeah. So my answer is always IDW.
IDW rules. Those comics are so good.
It's also not fair to compare them at this point because IDW has had a very long, consistent run that has been the same story with the same with the same writer, start to finish,
and they have a
with
budget
a
too.
whole bunch of what's that?
And they have a budget too. Like those early Mirage comics were very independently produced.
Yeah, and of course that's where a lot of the charm of those comes from.
Yeah.
And they could only have been made the way they were made.
Right.
And you hardly ever see 2 guys drawing on top of each other to the point where you can't tell where one end begins and one
that's
ends.
crazy.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But so like art-wise, I'm not going to compare them. It would be really unfair to me to sit here and be like Eastman and Laird versus Santa Luco. I'm not doing that. Okay, I'm just not going to do it.
Yeah.
But story-wise and stuff. The Mirage universe is very uneven. You've got different people who come in and out of it writing it. Sometimes it's
not even all
one
the counts
shot.
either.
Sometimes it's a real lengthy arc. It's not all the counts. Yeah.
There's like weird. What's the name?
Well, everything inside of the main title counts. So 1 to 50, or if it went farther than 50. But like Tales to TMNT, I don't know if that counts. I think it does.
Does that body count Raphael miniseries count?
It does.
Because I have the old trade of that, and there's like upside down misprinted pages in it and stuff.
I think it does. Well, I can't. Or is the Image stuff technically a reboot? I can't remember.
The Image stuff, I think, is a reboot.
I thought Body Count was Image though.
No,
I thought that was
not.
part of that.
That's Mirage.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Mirage.
Okay. But the did you know the Image stuff is being reprinted right now?
Ooh,
Are you aware of this?
That's the series where Donatello turns into a robot, right?
It is.
Yeah.
But here's what they're doing. They're putting, and I don't know if we're to the new issues yet or not, but they're reprinting them, and then the original team is coming back to finish it.
Oh, that's cool.
So in the sequence, suddenly there will be a number that you didn't have before, and it's a brand new issue.
Oh.
Pretty cool.
So how many?
I've been buying those, but I've only read the first 4 or 5.
Do we know how many issues like it's going to take them to finish it? Like they got like 1 arc left, 2 arcs, 3 arcs?
We do, but I don't.
Oh,
I just don't remember as well.
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Cool. That's actually really
Isn't that really cool?
Yeah.
And I mean, like, it's nonsensical, but it's a lot of fun to read. It's insane.
And for like a historical thing, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely.
And I mean, like, here's what's wonderful. I was about to say, maybe when they finish it, it'll be terrible, but you could make it worse. The only way it could be worse is if it was, like, too intelligible or not crazy enough.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I want to review that at some point when it's done. It'll be wild. It'll be wild. Okay, anybody else want to say anything about Ninja Turtles comics? No?
No, I think I'm good.
Hey, DJ, one more pre-written and then we'll get back to the Super Chats.
All right. We have 11 Super Chats, so let's knock this out.
I want to make sure, I see there's a lot, I just want to make sure that we're not shafting the... Look, I don't have to explain myself to you. Give me a pre-written question already.
I'm just going to read one because I'm not prepared. Cap, when do you plan on doing commentaries for Bad one to pick. For Infinity War and Endgame? Maybe them back to back the same day, or review both at once in a long 4-hour video.
That's okay. I'll answer that. I'm not sure. It'll happen at some point. I don't know who the co-host will be. It might be me and DJ. If Eric's interested, he could be there. If Dan wants to do some of that, I don't know yet. I don't know who's going to be there for that. But beyond that, I don't know. I don't want to wait too long. I wouldn't do it as one giant block. But I would want to do them in close proximity probably. So I would probably do one week and the next one a week or two after. Is probably how I do it. But yeah, I don't know. There's MCU movies I haven't done commentaries on at all yet. And it also depends on whether or not I ever, because we talked about this last week, come back and you knew I was going to say this. Come back and do a Marvel Mania Part 2 with someone. Because again, Eric's busy. I don't know if he would be able or willing to come back for that. But there are enough MCU movies already that we didn't do in Marvel Mania that we could do a mini return to Marvel Mania.
When was the one? What was the one you stopped on last time?
We finished off on Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah, there's been quite a few.
There's a few since then. Yeah.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. And also, Marvel Mania was every movie based on a Marvel property, which means you've also got Venom. You've also got
gotta go get him.
You've also got Into the Spider-Verse. You've also got the X-Men movies. So, I mean, there's stuff that... And a couple of those you and I have already done commentaries on. Mm-hmm. But Mania is a slightly different thing in that there's a lot more screwing around and
insane gimmicks or something, like the literally blind commentary for Daredevil where you wore blindfolds.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things I've ever done. It was so much fun to do. And I realized just how well I still know that movie. Yeah. Because I wasn't actually looking at it.
Wow.
But my favorite thing we did was getting up and going to get McDonald's for Eric in the middle of the Spider-Man 2 commentary and leaving him there for 20 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Did you know about that one?
No.
Somehow McDonald's comes up and we both go, wow, we've really got a craving for McDonald's. I was like, do you want some? And he was like, sure. I was like, I'm going to go get some. So I got up and I made him do the commentary by himself for 20 minutes.
Oh, that's convenient. You have a McDonald's close by. Like
yeah, it was right there.
Yeah, awesome.
It was maybe 15 minutes. Like, it was right there.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It didn't take that long. But yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. Anyway, although we've been asked by many people to not eat on camera anymore, so we don't do that anymore. But
I should have brought something to eat just to make people angry.
Yeah?
I totally would have done that.
So you invited me to fly out to your apartment so that you could completely,
sabotage the channel.
We're going to torpedo this channel right here and right now.
Sabotage. Okay, let's get back to Super Chats.
Yeah, Jeffrey E. Patron drops in to say, Eastern Time Zone Zord assemble.
Yeah, we're in the Eastern Time Zone. It's funny because yesterday I was telling Dan, I was like, we're going to start at 7 or 8. And then later I was like, oh, we should start at 8 because if we start at 7, that's 6 my time normally.
Yeah,
because I wasn't thinking the right time zone.
I'm glad I didn't have to add an hour to when we were going to do the show like I usually have to.
Was it that big of a burden? Is it that big of a deal?
It really gets to me sometimes.
Does it really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, in my defense, what I always have to do is think in you guys' time zone and remember when that would be for you, and then adjust it. Because if I say, let's meet at 7 or let's meet at 8, like we could get our wires crossed. So I would say my time. I mean, I could always say your time, but somehow it seems to be more convenient to do it that way. This is not interesting. Let's do another.
Creepy Spacey told us not to eat on camera, and thankfully, I never take advice from people like that. So
people are
taking advice from Kevin Spacey seems like a really bad idea.
It is, yeah. It is
career advice.
My favorite thing is that people in the comments are arguing about this. I almost want to make a poll. I'm not going to make a poll, but I almost do. Because he says don't eat on camera. Anime 2019 says eat on camera.
Ugh.
And I think that's hilarious. Yeah.
I think somebody wanting to watch you eat on camera is worse than just eating on camera.
Yeah, that's pretty weird. That's really weird.
No, please do eat on camera.
No, says clap eating ASMR.
Cap eats on. I wasn't even going to read that one out loud.
Are there people who are into because ASMR is a really weird.
Oh, we talked Cap about this a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
he had no idea.
They had to explain it to me. I didn't understand.
There has to be some subculture of people that enjoy watching other people eat on camera. It has to exist.
It definitely does.
No, almost certainly. No, anything. I'm pretty sure you could make a living just filming yourself vacuuming at this point.
No.
I just love to go to the bed to the soothing sounds of
That's why your neighbors love when you vacuum at night, you know?
I missed half that sentence because I was making vacuum sounds. What'd you say?
I said that's why neighbors love when you vacuum at night.
I thought you made up a YouTube name. I think that's why your name is I Love Vacuuming at Night.
No.
I thought he was going to say the jacket keeps me warm when I'm vacuuming at night.
Okay, DJ, let's get another super chat.
All right.
Let's move away from this topic.
I feel bad for the
face. Well, this is weird.
I feel bad for this person because he gave us a $2 super chat. Random reviewer, what are Dan's thoughts on Far From Home?
You deserve a refund, sir. That movie.
Well, what are your thoughts on? You can still have thoughts. You just don't have thoughts.
I'm really hoping that all of the MCU bullword is not shoehorned into the movie too much. I hope it's like a Spider-Man movie that isn't all about the fallout from a movie I didn't like. I'm hoping that Mysterio's great in it. I'm hoping that Tom Holland is not Iron Boy. I don't want any more of this Tony Stark stuff in every MCU movie, especially Spider-Man, because Spider-Man is a character that should stay on his own, and it's worthwhile.
Okay, I'm not going to see this movie, you know.
I'm feeling very uncomfortable.
Yeah, you can go next week. That's cool. Just go by yourself.
What else?
One of those things he said was true.
That's true. He got one of his wishes. He got one.
I hope that they set up more Spider-Man things, like the end of the post-credit sequence from Homecoming, where we had like some of the supervillains in the prison and stuff. I hope we continue with that and maybe build towards the Sinister Six eventually. That'd be cool. Yeah. So I hope to be impressed. We'll see.
I want to go see that movie now with you and have it ruin your vacation. That's... Yeah. So Dan is going to make a video with me about his thoughts on Far From Home. I'm probably going to spend most of that video just listening to him complain. DJ, what's your... You will like things about that movie. DJ, what is our next super chat?
We have one from Creepy Spacey that I wholeheartedly agree with. Fat Thor is an abomination.
Gotta clap for it.
Gotta clap for it. But he's not Abomination. He's not.
It could have been.
That would have been a twist. That would have been quite the twist. He drinks too much beer, turns it into Abomination somehow.
I wish that Abomination would come back.
That would be great.
And the leader,
but I care more about the leader. Yeah. I don't like that we didn't do that, and it was a really cool. It was a good pick actor-wise.
Yeah.
And it was a good setup, and there's all kinds of fun things you could have done with it, and it's weird we haven't done it.
How sad is it that we care more about Abomination than Thor in the MCU?
Very sad.
Well, if they'd done more terrible things with Abomination, and we were like, we don't like Abomination, but
let's not look at Abomination with rose-tinted glasses either. The design is terrible.
Oh no, yes, absolutely. It's not like he's a super fascinating character or anything, but he's interesting enough.
And Tim Ross.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
No, that's not that big of a deal to me, but I much prefer to see the leader come back. Mm-hmm. Okay, what else?
What else? We have Bag Studios. Good old Bag.
Hey, buddy. How's it going, Bag?
I don't know. I'll ask him. If you discover a time machine, what do you do with it? Whoa, big question.
What do you do with it, Dan?
I would go back and observe cultures in history and time and place, like as a passive observer, and try to figure out what we've been told about what happened in history. The history books is how much it's real, how much it's fabricated, based on the writers of the times, embellishing stuff. I really want to do stuff like that.
The first thing I would do is I would check and see if there was an address or a phone number on it to return it to its owner.
You're a better man than
I happened upon a time machine, and then when I didn't find that, and I didn't need a keypad or a key to get in, then I would use it. Okay, is what I would do.
Yeah.
And I would be very torn between going to the future and seeing what I might want to prevent or make sure happens. Or I would go back in time, specifically, like a lot of people would say they would, and I know this is a very cliche thing to say. We talked about this on After Dark, too, Eric and I. This is a real cliche, obvious thing to say, but it is what I would do. With the sheer number of people who live by Christianity, I have to know if Jesus was a real person.
I thought you were going to say you wanted to kill Hitler.
No.
No, baby.
I have to know if Jesus was a real person and if he rose on the third day.
Yeah.
That's the big thing for me.
But that would only satisfy your own curiosity because you'd be in the same boat when you came back.
It would, but then whenever anybody...
You'd have no evidence.
To any Christians who might be listening. But then, so I wouldn't have any evidence. I couldn't necessarily change anybody's mind.
You could bring your iPhone.
True, but everyone would assume it was doctored footage unless you could prove that the time machine worked. If you could prove the time machine worked, then that would be useful.
Just get a GoPro while you're in the time machine. And then get out, like, at the Jesus tomb, and when Big JC walks out of the rocks, and, you're like, it's real.
But it would tell me whenever anybody is trying to get me to buy into, Jesus dying on the cross and my immortal soul and heaven and everything. Mm-hmm. It would tell me if they were wrong or not. Mm. I would at least know for myself, for sure.
Sure.
At least know for me, for sure. Yeah. On a selfish note, I know for sure.
And you could live stream the crucifixion.
Oh my god, that'd be great!
I don't know if the time machine would work that way.
Well, if you had a GoPro, like Dan said.
Guys, how do you live stream to the future?
That's a good point.
It's not like it's
the time machine will figure all that out.
It's a very open-ended question. We don't have any rules.
Of the present, what you were experiencing happened already.
But this is why time travel is nonsense.
Hey, we're going by TMNT 3 rules, where everything important happens at the same time.
So it's not a time machine; it's a time scepter. Then
it's a scepter.
Definitely not live streaming through that thing. So, all right, let's get one more super chat, and then we'll go back to pre-written for just a minute.
All right, we got Creepy Spacey added again. Can you guys separate the art from the artist? And then he puts in parentheses Roman Polanski, Woody Allen,
terrible people,
Bryan Singer, Max Landis, John Landis, Victor Salva, and Kevin Spacey.
What do Landis people do? Are they terrible people?
Yeah, you didn't hear about Max Landis? He got a huge scandal.
Max Landis also has some allegations of sexual bad activity.
Oh.
Misconduct. You can never think of the word misconduct.
Hollywood is just full of perverts, huh? It's crazy.
So, this is a thing that Eric and I talked about recently on After Dark, and you can hear a more full answer to this on, I think, the most recent After Dark, actually. Dan and I are going to do a special After Dark soon. So in a week or two, that won't be the most recent because it's a continuing show that has more episodes coming. But the one that just came out recently, we talked about that. The answer I gave there, here's my truncated version, is almost always yes. Mm-hmm. But it is much harder when the art itself reminds me too much of the thing they did.
Yeah.
If the art is it feels informed, or like there's subtext by the thing that they become vilified for, and then they got drummed out of Hollywood for, and especially if they did like really awful, horrible things that like I can't begin to condone, and that bother me, and that that makes it a lot harder.
Yeah, it's an interesting question because like you think about like some of the people that inspired the filmmakers that came up in the 70s, like George Lucas and Spielberg and Coppola and stuff. Like they were very influenced by, I forget her name, but she was a woman who made propaganda films for the Nazi regime during World War II.
Yeah.
Like the specifically like one of the scenes from Star Wars that's influenced by that is the throne room scene at the end of A New Hope. Like it's shot for shot remake of a scene of Hitler like walking into a room with surrounded by like Nazis and stuff.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So like I don't know, like if you didn't look at that kind of like it's very innovative filmmaking. Like, but it's about the Nazis and like making them look like a positive thing.
Propaganda.
Yeah. So like I think you can like look at the art and appreciate it for like its artistic merit without thinking about and like the innovation it does like for its craft and not like support it. You know what I mean? Like I don't think watching something out of curiosity is like you support it. You know what I mean?
I don't think it is either.
Like every time I watch one of the X-Men movies, I'm not supporting Bryan Singer being a weirdo. You know what I mean?
And when I go back to those, because especially X2 is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
It does bother me. It does hurt my feelings that he turned out to be that kind of a person.
Yeah.
And I can't not think about it at least a little bit when I watch those movies, because I'm thinking about the behind the scenes and things that he might have been doing to people.
Sure.
But I'm not gonna just never watch them again, and I'm not gonna not let things like that influence me in an artistic way.
Hmm.
Would you agree with that too? That like they can still be sometimes positively influencing me even?
I think so. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you agree that this is somewhat of a similar question, and this is not? I don't know that the culture thing is as important as what I'm about to bring.
Yeah.
But is it a similar question to should we like it's about the evolution of something. Should we continue to use medicine that improves people's lives that came out of an atrocity? You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a similar kind of question.
Similar kind of question.
Yeah.
And there's
I mean, obviously that question is much more important than this one.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But it's never an easy answer.
Yeah.
I don't think either of those are easy answers.
No, it's not. But like at the same time, I mean, I guess it's important to keep those things in mind and like be informed, I suppose, if you're like really into movies. But I think most of the people that like go and see movies, like they don't even know the artist behind these things. You know what I mean? Right. Like, like you can't fault like some grandma for going to see Bohemian Rhapsody and like supporting Bryan Singer being a terrible person. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I think this is such a like a niche like insular movie fan kind of question. You know, that like hardcore movie fans like struggle with, I guess. But like most people don't really even think about that sort of thing.
Yeah, but like most people have heard about the alleged activity of Michael Jackson, you know, things like that.
Yeah, I mean, Michael Jackson's kind of a different case, though. Like, Michael Jackson was like king of the world at one point, you know.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
Bryan Singer is a very talented movie director.
But we're talking about all of this, and I'm just saying that there are certain creators that, most people are going to know about.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Nobody doesn't know about the Bill Cosby thing.
Right. Because he was like, you know, America's dad.
I'm sorry, DJ, would you like to weigh in on this? We have commandeered.
No, I think you pretty much covered it, man. It's like a consummate depends question. Yeah, thanks for the question, Mr. Spacey. I'm still going to watch Fred Claus every Christmas, even though you're a creep. We got Tyler Parker. I hope you continue to review the Ultimate Spider-Man comics with Dan on the Comic Vault, although that would be weird without Eric. Is what he said.
Yeah, so Eric and I are going to keep doing Ultimate Spider-Man. Obviously, I'd love to have Dan there anytime you do either. We've done Eric and I have done the first 8 volumes. You and I and Dan did the first volume. You and I and Eric did the first volume.
Yes.
Dan's busy. Eric's busy. It's hard to get all 3 of us in the same room. And Eric and I have done 7 volumes without Dan now.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like to at some like. Because Ultimate Spider-Man is like one of my favorite runs of comics of all time. So
he would have been there this whole time if he could have been. We can't always make it happen. And if I waited for Dan, you wouldn't have gotten as many videos.
No, we'd probably be on like volume 2
or 3.
Yeah. So it's just tough, like being in school, and then like after I graduate school, my career is going to be starting up, and I'm going to need to like grind it out for a few years and work really hard, and, like a lot of hours to establish myself. So
the thing that I think is important to remind everybody about is that I am exactly the only person ever on this channel for whom this is a full-time job.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've got a couple of part-time guys that work for me. I've got guys like Dan who come in and out and guest when they can, and that it's a hobby and it's fun, and we love hanging out together. And the closest of friends.
Yeah,
Dan
absolutely.
can't be here all the time.
Unfortunately, like I would love, like, you know, I used to have my own channel and make my own videos before I even met you. So like, I love YouTube. I love the community. I love talking about comics, movies, superhero, Star Wars, all of the fandom stuff. Like I love talking about all that stuff. It's just hard. And like, I have conversations like this in my everyday life with people. I just don't record them anymore, you know?
Yeah.
And I wish I could. I wish I had time to, but it's just tough.
So. Yeah, it's
the answer to shrug.
That's how it is. Yeah. The other thing to keep in mind is that most of the guys I've had on this channel are younger than me, and I brought in when they had inordinate amounts of free time.
Yeah. When?
I mean, the early days you were still in high school. Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy.
And then the first few years we knew each other, you had some free time.
Yeah, exactly.
You and I made weekly videos together for years.
Yeah, because we used to review comics every week.
Yeah.
For a while, we did live shows. That was a lot of fun.
We did a whole lot of arcs of Dan Slott Spider-Man. Yeah, we did some Batman together.
Yeah, we did Snyder's Batman. I remember we did at least the first 2 arcs. Yeah. I know we did Corbell's and Death in the Family.
That may be all we did.
Yeah. We did some other stuff, too. I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, I'd love to get back to it at some point. It's just tough.
I obviously appreciate and value every hour you guys are able to come on and hang out with me. But like, I'm the only one here that has to put out content on a regular basis because this really is my job.
Exactly.
So I probably look like I have crazy amounts of free time, and all these guys have like really like regular lives. But this is my regular life.
Well, and the thing that's difficult to line up schedules, not just like the fact that we're busy, but you also like are a full-time dad. So like, and you have a 1-year-old in the house. Like that's not a a little amount of work.
I'm selling comics on the side.
Yeah.
I mean, I have kind of 3 jobs at the moment. So
Yeah, so it's difficult for us. Like, even if I have free time at certain points, like it doesn't work for him, vice versa. You know. So
Carl Maxey asks, does anyone else think Dan Torrey could pull off the Daredevil look? I do, and I think you should cosplay it.
I have dressed as Matt Murdock for Halloween before.
I think you've got the jaw for it.
No, thank you. All I need is because
we could gouge your eyes out. You know, we could. You know, like
I have some Drano downstairs.
Yeah.
Record in my eyes.
See what happens. Yeah. We'll
They're
just
chemicals. They'll make me.
We'll put it on the
Supergirl.
back of we'll put it on the back of a truck. We'll put some old man in the middle of the road, and we'll have him like leap out in front of him.
And I'll hold a bowl of turtles so we can make the Ninja Turtles at the same time.
At the same
too.
time,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Exactly.
because that all happens in the same scene.
Exactly.
According to Ethan.
I for that costume I just wore a suit, and then I was trying to find some like John Lennon style like red glasses, but I couldn't find any, so I had to go with reflective aviators, so no one really knew who I was. Someone thought I was Agent Smith, and I was like, no, you're wrong.
Doesn't he have like a receding hairline, Agent Smith?
Yeah, Agent Smith would be harder for you to pull off, and you're not old enough. And,
Yeah.
You know, like 20 years, you could maybe do a good Agent
With
Smith.
the magic of Disney aging, I could be Agent Smith.
Yeah. Well, let's do another super chat, sir.
All right. Will we ever learn how Homecoming happens in 2016/2020 at the same time?
Nope.
Okay, so
Feige.
No, you won't.
sorry, who asked that question?
This is from Christian Ogden. He goes on to say, Feige can call 8 years later a typo. All he wants, timeline is still broken.
Yeah, it is.
That's so
It's the worst.
funny.
Yeah, it's
That, like,
hilarious.
That I don't know. Like, ultimately, I don't care.
Yeah.
That is like the thing that matters in those movies, like the least, is the timeline, because like, especially with the Spider-Man movies, like people are gonna look way older than they're supposed to be at some point,
Of course.
inevitably.
Sure.
But like their excuse is also really funny because it's like, oh, we made a typo. Like you're the king of Hollywood, the biggest studio in Hollywood, and you made a typo in your $1 billion movie. Oh my god.
I think so. These are almost separate things for me.
Yeah.
You and I have the how important is continuity discussion all the time, and
Yeah.
it's 2 separate things. For the sake of the movie you are making as a singular piece, the continuity is not necessarily important, depending on how much it actually weighs on the film.
Yeah.
If the story is really good, Winter Soldier could have made 1,000 continuity gaffes, and I wouldn't care because it's such a good movie.
Yeah.
But unless those continuity gaffes broke it for some reason, you know what I mean? But
Right.
like, I can't imagine how exactly that would happen.
Right.
But the other side of this is the continuity and the tight knitness of it is what Marvel sells those movies on so hard. So if they're going to constantly pat themselves on the back about how good they are about keeping up with their mythology, they need to be that good about keeping up with their mythology.
But their mythology's been broken since like movie 2.
I know.
Like the
Yeah.
Incredible Hulk, like does not make sense in many ways with what came later. Like
But-
who cares is my thing, because they haven't been consistent about it the whole time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Preach, Dan, preach.
But the problem is, it's also one of the things that they get most praised for, and they don't deserve it.
I agree with that.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what bugs me about it, is
Yeah.
that everybody's always talking about, or not everybody, but you hear a lot of, I'm going to sound prudish when I say this, you hear a lot of, like, casual moviegoers who talk about how impressive Thanos was and how great it was that all roads were leading to this place. They really weren't.
They said they literally had no idea what they were going to do. When
Yeah.
when they put the Avengers.
But
It's
they
like,
also-
we'll just put it in there, so that'll be fun, and
But
hopefully
they
we'll
also
figure out
kind
what
of
to do
pat
later.
themselves in the back for it, and it bugs me.
Yeah, it's a marketing scheme.
No, it is.
Yeah. Just marketing buzz.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
gonna say whatever they want. I like to think. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, you're fine. Go ahead.
I like to think in my head that when they got on set and saw the horrific crayon drawing that Liz was supposed to draw 4 years earlier when she was like 12, and they're like, she can't have drawn this when she was 12. Let's make it 8 years. So they just
Especially a
double-
student out at a school like the one Peter goes to. Like,
Yeah.
these are bright kids, or supposed to be anyway.
Good point. DJ, let's get another super chat.
All right. We have Mr. Roboto. Isn't Dan Torrey and DJ too much for the stream to take? I don't know what that means.
Well, it hasn't broken down yet, which is a miracle.
And it almost broke down prematurely, so maybe that's true.
Yeah, maybe they are too much. Yeah, it's really funny when you say that too, because we used to do like 5, 6, 7 people panels.
Yeah, we did.
You know,
and it was chaos.
Back in the day, it was absolutely it was a bad idea. We shouldn't have done it. I do sometimes miss those larger panels as much as like 4 or 5.
Those were fun. Yeah, when we used to do them with like 4 people, I think that was like the max. Like,
and these days we rarely have more than 3, and it's usually just 2. It's usually just me and DJ or me and Eric.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I miss those a little bit. That's not what the question was about, but whatever. But yeah, it is crazy to have DJ and Eric in the same stream. We've never done that before. You guys have never really met before, I don't think.
Yeah, we haven't. Yeah. And DJ seems like a great dude.
No, he is. He's wonderful.
Yeah.
Nobody don't let it go to your head. Nobody, I think, would ever have been able to tell that you two didn't know each other with the rapport we have this evening.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's going really well.
It's been wonderful.
We're all cool people.
I would kidnap Dan and bring him back with me, but I would have to pay for another carry-on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll just drop out of school so I can come live with you in Kansas.
I'll pay you to cook me dinner, man. Aaron, Dan's.
Cap's going to be owning like his own boys' home soon.
Cap's School for Gifted Youngsters.
Yeah, for gifted YouTubers, yeah. Okay, let's do another super chat.
All right, we have the Day Ghost. I forgot the Cap Dan Logan show was tonight. That's a little pun for you guys.
The Cap Dan Logan
Cap
show.
Dan.
I see what he's doing.
Yeah. I love how 2 of us had to say it 3 times before you even knew what we were talking about.
I just picture him saying that with his spatula in front of his charcoal grill, like with his "Kiss me, I'm the dad" apron on. You know, Cap Dan. Yes, Solar Dragon. I am visiting Dan. Solar Dragon either came in late, or we have not made it clear enough that we're in the same room. Yes,
there's not like there's. It would be amazing if I had the like special effects capabilities of doing this, but it's not like there's like a digital seam here where like we're actually in different places.
We totally could have like tried, like if we were like insane people, we could have like made it look like we contrived it so that we were in like not in the same room, and then like one of us like crosses over in the middle of the show or something.
Well, we get across the street. What I thought about doing was getting out my tablet downstairs and doing part of the show from there, and be like, "Where's Cap?" And then I come upstairs, and then I come in. We could have done that.
That would have been cool.
But I didn't do that because we were having technical problems, and I didn't want to overly complicate things. Okay, let's do a pre-written question.
All right. Here's a cool one. Thanks for the drum roll. Cap, Dan, and DJ, what villains would you like to see in the next MCU Spider-Man movie? No spoilers for Dan.
We've done this recently. We haven't answered this question, so I want to hear Dan's answer.
I don't want them to do Kraven because MCU Kraven sounds like puke.
Spit everywhere.
Who would I want to see? If we hadn't done Electro already, I feel like he would be a good fit for the MCU.
Perfect, yeah,
he'd be cool.
Smythe and the Spider Slayers would actually be pretty cool because then you could like use Jameson too because he's involved with the Spider Slayer stuff in the early issues.
I like that too, but I don't see Smythe necessarily carrying a whole movie even with Jameson. I feel like
he'd definitely be like a secondary
part of something else, and I don't know what that would be. But Smythe and the Kingpin would be wonderful if you could do the Kingpin, but you'd have to reboot him.
Yeah, I mean, my answer to every like Spider-Man villain inquiry is I want Norman Osborn in the thing,
right?
And like, but with many caveats, like I don't want Norman Osborn to be at all played for comedy. Like he should be scary. Like play everything else in the movie for comedy if you want, but like I don't want like Norman Osborn cracking wise and like tripping over banana peels and stuff.
Well, they did that with Vulture, so
yeah.
No, that's true. I mean, Vulture was completely serious. Like,
yeah, and he had some comedic scenes, but there was always like menace behind them too.
Well, no, of course.
Yeah, like if they did stuff like that, I'd totally.
But the comedy didn't come from him being a clown, being a bozo. Like, you can always do that. There are places in Daredevil where I'm laughing a little bit at Kingpin, but usually in a real awkward, I shouldn't be laughing. Kind of
right. I mean, if they were to do Norman Osborn, I'd want them to introduce him in the next movie as just Norman Osborn, and then like slowly build that if we can keep Tom Holland and Sony playing ball for long enough. Because I think the reason to get such a young kid to play Spider-Man is that like you would want to see him progress and grow up like he does in the comics. You know?
And I just don't feel like we're getting the mileage out of that we should be.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as like, those movies are never going to be as serialized as you and I would like them to be. They all have to like be preoccupied with being sequels to the Marvel universe, not just Spider-Man.
And
they have to be preoccupied with not knowing if Sony will continue to play ball, as you said. Yeah. They got to be constantly careful about that. In a perfect world, retroactively, what I would have liked to have seen, even if it took, Sony putting that deal together with MCU, would be to wait for. Again, you wouldn't have known you were doing this, but retroactively, have your cake. If you could do anything you wanted, save Spider-Man for Disney Plus, because it ought to be a TV show. I mean, that's the best possible place for it.
Yeah, so cool.
Save it for Disney Plus.
And I think even Disney owns the TV rights to Spider-Man.
Do they?
Yeah, because Sony used to have them. That's why Spectacular Spider-Man got canceled because they lost them.
But the MCU shows get real sticky and dicey since they're so interconnected. It's hard to say if those rights would still come into play with the Disney Plus streaming thing. Because Feige is lording over all of that, and it's really hard to say if that would have been allowed with the loophole of, but it's on a streaming service. I have no idea.
Who knows? Also, as far as villains go, I wonder if they're ever going to try to make that Ned Leeds Gank character the Hobgoblin eventually.
I think that's a really bad idea, and I hope it never happens.
Yeah.
I
haven't seen a new movie yet, but
they need to not do that because it would take too long to get him dark enough for us to even remotely.
Well, they could always do the ultimate thing, like how Harry Osborn becomes the Hobgoblin when he's still a teenager, and like Hulk out and stuff.
I don't want that either.
I don't either, but I could see them doing that.
Yeah. Somebody suggested something last week that I hadn't thought of, and I can't believe I didn't, because this was a character I liked a lot in the 90s animated show, Chameleon.
Chameleon would be great.
And if...
but he doesn't create enough explosions. I don't think he'd be good for an MCU movie. Like, you'd need, like, another villain, you know what I mean? Like, Mysterio's like a character like with his illusions and stuff. Like you can do a lot of stuff. Like and they had the elementals in the movie and stuff. Like it was supposed to be Multi-Man and Hydro Man. I don't know if they named it in the movie or not, but I feel like you'd have to do like a low key kind of movie to do a Chameleon.
I think he would have to be part of another team or have a partner or something. But I mean, Chameleon could be cool. And if
he'd definitely be cool.
And if they do, we don't know if this is happening. But if we do more Skrull stuff and we do Secret Wars at some point, I think it would be kind of fun to do Chameleon at the same time as you're doing Skrulls, where you've got a guy who does what they do at the same time as they're running around, and that could be kind of fun.
Would you be surprised if they made Chameleon a Skrull?
I wouldn't have a problem with it.
Yeah?
I think that would be a cool way to do him, actually.
Yeah, I hadn't really even thought of that.
I hadn't thought of that.
Yeah.
But it also might be cool if those are happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
It would probably be, the way they always do things, it would probably be a scientist who, like, analyzed a scroll and figured out what they're doing to transform.
Yeah, because they're not going to do like the goofy like rubber mask thing that they do in the early comics.
Or the 90s belt. The 90s belt.
Yeah, the 90s belt.
Everything the 60s, like the 60s did with that. Like the 60s was constantly having people just take off a mask.
Yeah.
How many more? Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I'd love to see goofy rubber masks, but they wouldn't be convincing.
No. Hey, I wouldn't mind the belt, man.
Well, you know what? In Winter Soldier, doesn't Black Widow have like technology that like changes her face with holograms?
Chameleon could be using that.
She could be using that stuff.
That's cool.
That would be cool. I'd like to see that.
And it would be tech somebody stole that wasn't made by Stark.
They'd tie it in to be connected to Tony Stark somehow, I would imagine.
They probably would, yeah. But like that would be, but like that's Shield tag. I don't think that's Stark tag.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm
I
saying
don't know.
in Winter Soldier, I think it's Shield tag. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
They don't tie that to Stark in any way that I know of. That seems to be just something that Fury just has laying around.
Oh, okay, interesting.
But anyway, DJ, how many more super chats do we have, buddy?
Just
we are
9.
already coming up on an hour. Did you say 9?
Just 9.
Blow through them. Let's go.
9.
All right,
Let's do it.
Here's a big one. $10 from Pandora.
Thank you.
On the same topic, Cap Far From Home came out July 2nd, and Black Widow... Oh, he has a bone to pick with you, by the way, just a heads up. Cap Far From Home came out on July 2nd, and Black Widow is the very next Marvel movie and doesn't come out until May 2020. That definitely fits the 6 months to a year time frame. I don't get your complaint.
Yeah.
Wait, like...
I don't know what your complaint is.
So he's saying
that you wanted them to take a break.
That I wanted them to take a break. it's not going to feel to anybody like a break because maybe this isn't possible because we're talking about it, but also a Disney Plus show that is tied into the MCU that they are calling part of.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, when are those coming out? I didn't.
The first of those is before Black Widow.
Oh, okay.
Isn't it?
I think it's Winter Soldier and Falcon.
And Falcon, yeah, but I don't remember what the release date is. That's a good point. I forgot to check the dates again.
Yeah.
So that's a good point. Like maybe I don't know, but I'm just saying I would have taken time off immediately after Endgame. I wouldn't have put Spider-Man out right away.
Yeah,
that's the point I'm making. Even with Spider-Man as kind of an epilogue, leave that movie exactly like it is, but whet people's palate for more after you did a finale is the point I'm making.
Yeah.
Don't put that out while Endgame is still in the movie theater.
Yeah.
I get that there's the re-release and that's why it was still there, but I'm just saying, even a week or two after that leaves, I would have taken some time off.
I wonder if it being in such close proximity has anything to do with like the Sony Marvel contract. Like,
Dragon 5 says that's not happening before Black Widow, so that is a good point you're making. But I'm gonna also counter with, but take time off after Endgame.
Yeah, that's what you were saying in the first.
That's what I was saying in the first place.
Yeah.
All right.
That's my complaint. So, thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate it. DJ, what is next?
Mr. Weeping Dalek says, "Are you guys going to stream SpiderMan PS4?"
I may at some point. I don't know. Can't happen with Dan because we don't have a PS4 here. We don't have time this week.
Yeah.
That's not what we're. That's not.
I have an Xbox One and a Switch and a PC. I have everything that doesn't run Spider-Man PS4.
Yeah.
So.
All right, man.
It would have been absolutely wonderful to do with Dan. That's not to say that down the road it couldn't happen when Dan comes to me.
That's true. And by the time that happens, the sequel will probably already be out for PS5.
People were begging me to bring my PS4 and play it with you, and if I had driven, I would have considered it.
Yeah,
but I wasn't taking that on an airplane. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Too heavy.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, I wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
Too risky.
T-Edge1 says, "Eat a camera." LOL.
Eat a camera. Mm-hmm.
Well, we're using a webcam on my laptop now, so
it would be difficult at the moment.
Yeah.
I could run downstairs and get my camera.
I just bought this MacBook, so I don't really want to eat it.
Are you saying that when we're making videos and you want us to eat things on camera, you want me to eat the camera that we're filming with? Because that would be counterproductive.
And very hard.
DFCO.
It's like my brother always said when he was little.
Yeah.
I always thought, my brother Dennis, at 7 or 8 years old, I thought this was such a profound statement. Have you ever heard me say this?
I don't know.
Dennis always used to say, everything is edible. It's just not all digestible.
I guess that's true.
Did you hear about that guy that ate a plane, like an airplane, piece by piece?
But could he digest it?
I don't know. Heard it on the internet.
Wow.
I hope that was just a typo and he didn't mean to write that and it was like an autocorrect situation, because that would be great.
This lasted about 5 minutes longer than I expected. This analysis of that super chat. Let's do another one.
All right, Bag Studios is back at it again. All right, Dan, what's your predictions for MCU Spider 3?
No,
not having seen.
We'll talk about that, and that should be part of our video probably.
Yeah,
some speculation moving forward, so that I have something to contribute because I haven't drank that much tonight because I've already reviewed it. Go ahead.
Not having seen the second movie. I guess I can speculate and say, I hope that they're building towards some sort of a Sinister Six movie because, one, that's what, Sony and all the fans have been trying to make, not the fans because they're not involved in making the movie, but fans have, really wanted to see the Sinister Six for a long time. Sony tried to make a Sinister Six solo movie, which is a weird idea. I want that to happen at some point. It doesn't even have to be, the original roster or anything like that. I would just like to see a team of SpiderMan villains going up against it at some point.
After you said that, I'm going to edit something I said earlier.
Yeah.
Because I haven't made a big enough deal out of it. When people keep asking what villains we want to see, a kind of more traditional Doc Ock I think ought to happen.
Doc Ock would be great.
Because I'm with you because I know how much you care about Norman Osborn and how for you that's Spider-Man's major arch nemesis, and it is. But Doc Ock is also way up there.
Doc Ock and Norman Osborn are like this, Yeah. They're neck and neck.
And introducing them in the same film, not a bad idea.
I just think Norman Osborn's a more interesting character.
He is.
I still really like Doc Ock though. Like he's still a great character. I just like Norman.
But
Like
the
Norman
previous
was my favorite
franchises,
supervillain.
we sort of kind of did him twice, and we did a Doc Ock that everybody really liked, but I think it would be fun to see something a little bit more traditional.
I mean, we already saw Doc Ock's arms in the Amazing Spider-Man movie, so we've seen Doc Ock twice, right?
And we've had a female Doc Ock in the animated.
Yeah.
She was cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if we got the 2099 version of Doc Ock in the MCU, like the female version, just to like mix it up and be different.
Well, that's fine. That's good.
Yeah. No, I'm not opposed to
I
that.
like that. Yeah. They should make. I'm not gonna say that. I don't think Pam would like it if I said that. Okay,
why?
You haven't seen the movie yet, but we're really not doing anything like enough with Aunt May. Just mix up everything. Make her Doc Ock. Make their Aunt May Doc Ock.
That sounds awful.
That's what they should do. Yep.
That sounds like the worst decision ever. They'll probably do it.
But at least they'd be doing something with that character.
Yeah.
Okay, DJ, how many more super chats do we have, sir?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have a Thor one. So the Day Ghost says, since Thor Love and Thunder is your most hype film ever made, Dan.
We just can't wait!
What are you hoping to see in it? Hopefully we get Beta Ray Bill as a full comedian.
I hope that Hemsworth gets written out because he is only interested in playing himself in movies now.
He's terrible.
He just doesn't act in things now. He just does goofy Hemsworth improv and everything now, and he doesn't seem interested in playing Thor. So show him the door. And if Jane Foster takes over as Thor and she's fleshed out and characterized like a serious character, then I'd be fine with that because I actually really like the Lady Thor comics. Like Jason Aaron did a really good job with that stuff. So
there's one problem with that.
What?
Who's directing it?
Taika Waititi. So it's not going to happen.
Yeah,
but
that'd be great.
What I would like to see. I also,
but you have actor problems either way. I'm a broken record on this. I've been talking about this a lot lately.
Yeah. See, I guess we disagree on the Portman thing. Like, I think she could do a good job with it, but you don't.
Yeah, I don't agree with Cap either on this, but he's really on it.
You guys should wait till we see it, man. I'm not saying Portman is a horrible actress. She doesn't have the gravitas for it. I just don't see it. Like, she's not an actress with range. She's never done anything. Like, I don't see it.
Oh, interesting. Because like
you would never.
I think she has good range. Have you seen like Black Swan and V for Vendetta?
Seen V for Vendetta.
Yeah, Black Swan. She's really good in that movie too.
That's what she won the Oscar for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but is it? I don't know. I don't see it. She's not the actress you would cast for that if you hadn't already cast her as Jane Foster. That's the point I'm making. And what they ought to do, and because they've already said that it's female Thor and Jane Foster, they can't do this. Mm-hmm. What they ought to do is cast a different actress and do the reveal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's what I would have loved to have seen.
Yeah.
But we're gonna know it's her the whole time.
It would be weird to do that just because we don't have the like thing that is in the comics where like Donald Blake turns into like a different person.
Yeah,
like the MCU, like we don't have that established. It would be kind of weird to do that all of a sudden.
It sounds like it's going to be weird anyway. Like I don't even know how exactly they make her Thor. You know?
Yeah.
They're already making her Thor. It's already weird.
Yeah.
But we obviously don't have enough information to go on.
Right.
But,
and in the MCU too, like it's going to make you wonder, like, why when Captain America wielded Mjolnir, he didn't like sprout a Thor costume like Beta Ray Bill and Jane Foster. Yeah.
Which also could have been really hilarious. But anyway, by the way, it sounds like it's going to sound to you guys like these two are ganging up on me, but this is not 2-on-1. This is on 2-on-2 because I guarantee you Eric agrees with me. I guarantee you.
No, I think she could do it. I don't think there'll be gravitas for her to play. I don't think they're going to, like, because Hemsworth Thor doesn't have any gravitas, so I don't think he's going to do that with her all of a sudden.
It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Valkyrie, too.
Yeah, I don't know if I would call it gravitas.
Not in Ragnarok, though. He just hit himself in the face with weapons.
Well, that's true. And it's not like...
he tripped.
It's not like Valkyrie does either, really, so...
No, I mean, like, I think I really like Tessa Thompson as an actress. Like, she's great. Could she, like, if they give her great material to work with, but I have a feeling it's just going to be her doing improv comedy, like, you know, because her and Hemsworth seem to like doing that. Like, they were in that Men in Black thing that I didn't see.
Which was one of the worst things I've seen.
It looked like one of the worst things ever made. So I didn't bother seeing it.
It's ultra bad, okay?
But I'd also like to get more into the Asgardian, like, lore stuff, even because I hope we do that with Loki because it's like a time travel thing, but, like, I would imagine what they're going to do is like do more stuff with like from JMS's run, like Asgard Beyond Earth, and how that affects like the community around it and stuff, which could be interesting. But I would imagine it'll just be played for comedy.
We never fleshed out Asgard in the first place.
Yeah.
So that's no fun.
Yeah.
Thor 4, I don't even want to say that title. Thor 4 is like, Eric, I'm going to echo Eric, because Eric has said that's the first Marvel, like MCU movie he's considered not going to. And I feel the same way about it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see what it looks like. Obviously, I'll be as open-minded as I can, but I didn't like the last Thor movie that guy made, so...
Yeah. I guess I've already, like, done... Because I cared so little about Captain Marvel and Ant-Man 2 that I didn't see them.
Yeah, I get that.
So I don't know if I'll skip Thor. I might just go see it. Yeah.
Gregory Davison says, Thor 4. More Thor. DJ, how many more super chats do we have, sir?
A few. I'm going to blow through this one. This is, don't get excited about this one, guys. This is a joke. Hey, guys, great crew tonight. This is from David Crabtree. Hey, Cap, can you confirm the rumor that there will be a major rewind this week?
Yeah, that's a reference to a thing we're doing in the Superhero Society.
Yeah, not a real rewind.
Nope.
Don't get excited. This is from Wakes. Tell me, boys, what have you all ate today?
What did we eat today? So Dan has been making some incredible rockin' food for me this week. Like, that's what I said every time I ate some. DJ or Dan, I don't know about DJ. Dan's an amazing cook. He's an amazing cook.
Thank you.
What do we have today?
For breakfast, we had blueberry and apple pancakes.
Yeah.
And then for lunch, we had Asian turkey burgers,
which were amazing. And by the way, I gotta say this: I don't like green beans. Dan made the only green beans I have ever enjoyed and ate many of.
Yeah, the green beans I cooked up with a little olive oil, some pepper flakes, some garlic powder, some water in there, steamed them for a bit after they got fried in the olive oil. Strained them, put them on a plate, boom, ready to go. So those were good.
And we're gonna make something else later.
Chicken parmesan is the dish for tonight for dinner. So I have all the chicken all bread and ready to go.
So excited.
Cook it in the oven. So.
But the best thing you made was yesterday morning.
Yeah, the egg sandwiches. Yeah. I made egg sandwiches with chicken sausage, and they were on blueberry bagels, and I made home fries with them. That was really good too.
Anime 2019 just will not stop going on about how I should eat more on camera.
Wow.
Let's just live stream our meals tonight.
I'm game. I really am. Is anybody up for another live show where we just have dinner and chat in front of a camera? We may not even read comments. We might just... Anybody up for that? This is working, and we've got only one more day of Hangouts.
Someone said they want to like live stream my cooking too. I mean, I've already done all the prep work, so you don't have to see it.
We didn't make this a goal for tonight, so we're not going to do that as a goal. But we'll consider it. We'll think about it. We will consider it. I don't think Dan is the kind of guy where I think I could put a camera on him and he'd just be like, "Whatever, there's a camera here." I don't care. We'll think about it. We'll consider it. Could happen.
It could happen
tonight.
Will DJ moderate our eating?
I don't think DJ can stay up that late.
I'll do the play-by-play.
The highlights tomorrow morning.
And he's going for the fork. All right, DJ, let's do another super chat, buddy.
All right, Bag Studios. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
Gotta clap for it.
Would you tell everybody what you're referencing?
So, for those of you who don't watch Red Letter Media, they do this hilarious podcast where they parody like those like Collider idiots that make those shows where they just like are like, "Oh my god, we're so excited about everything! Everything's amazing!" And then the next guy goes, "Oh my god, I'm so excited about everything! Everything's amazing!" So Red Letter Media makes like a parody podcast of that where they're like just terrible sycophants for everything that comes out, and they were discussing the announcement of The Mandalorian being produced, which I'm actually like legitimately really excited for.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that show.
Yeah.
But they were like making fun of it, just like, there's a lot of planets. There's a planet where lots of Boba Fett's live. Do you remember Boba Fett?
Boba Fett!
And then they're like,
all these Boba Fetts all over the screen. Solar Dragon says, I clapped at Dan talking about Red Letter Media.
Gotta clap for it.
Gotta clap for Boba Fett.
The man in the Mandalorian armor, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, man. I don't want to interrupt you,
Yeah.
but I just need to say something important.
Yeah.
I'm excited about everything, and everything's exciting. DJ, let's get another super chat, sir.
Someone's also saying,
Miracle,
very
miracle,
cool. They broke new ground. Got clap for the Lucasfilm logo. We've just ignited a whole thing.
We really have.
That's awesome.
Oh boy, could you build a bigger following than one we have just talking about Red Letter Media?
We'll just analyze Red Letter Media from now on instead of actual movies.
1 week it'll be Red Letter Media, and the next week it'll be AVGN. We'll just go back and forth. I have considered doing an AVGN review series, and then I'm like, that is too nerdy. Even
Did you hear that?
That's too much.
He put out a post like a little while ago.
Did he say he's
guess
never making another video ever again?
Gilbert Gottfried's going to be the next one. Yeah,
that is the biggest celebrity he's ever had. Cool. Yeah. That's pretty big for him.
Yeah.
And what's crazy about that is that means unless he goes to him and shoots somewhere on location or in some building, that means that Gilbert Gottfried will be in his house.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Which is crazy if it happens.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
I'm excited about it. What could it possibly be?
He's playing a character. He's playing a character that has been in the series before that I can't say the name of because it's a swear word.
Is it who I think it is?
It may be.
Okay, we'll have to talk later.
Okay,
I'm very excited about that.
Yeah.
I am weirdly a huge AVGN fan. It doesn't make sense, but I am. I know AVGN like I know Star Trek.
Someone's like, what are they talking about?
Oh boy. Okay. We're gonna lose our audience. Okay. So how many more super chats do we have? I keep asking that. I'm sorry.
1, 2, 3, and then we just got a fourth.
Okay. We are 10 minutes past time, so let's try to get those knocked out.
Guys, they have to
We gotta eat, and then possibly talk to you some more.
Man's gotta eat, you know.
Yeah. All right, I don't really understand this one. I'm gonna read it straight. Hopefully, it gets through.
I didn't understand that one either.
Idea.
Thank you for the super chat.
Captain Logan interviews Captain Logan pre-recorded for the channel, at least at the question asking end. Yes, maybe.
That was incomprehensible.
That's Mr. Roboto.
Mr. Roboto, we don't know what you're talking about. Mr. Roboto leaves super chats that I've understood before.
I think he means like if you interview yourself, but you have to do it pre-recorded because you would have to shoot both sides of the interview.
No, we'll do it live.
I think that's what it means.
I mean, I could do that. I've seen other channels do that. Most of the time, people don't think that's very funny. You know?
Yeah.
The CinemaSins guy used to do a series like that, and everybody hated it, so I don't know.
Oh, did they hate it?
He used to get a lot of crap for putting those out. But I don't know. I mean, maybe some people liked it, but I don't watch that.
I didn't. Yeah, I don't either.
But I've
seen
watched a couple things here and there.
I've seen his videos before, and he says things that are just like straight up wrong in some of them, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't know, man.
Yeah, I mean, he's got some good jokes and some good ideas quite a bit. I think that's bound to happen when you have as much output as him.
Sure.
And I think that guy needs to slow down.
Yeah,
I've always thought that.
Well, it's not a guy; it's a team. And Aaron Dicer actually writes for him. Did you know that?
No, I know. Yeah, I knew.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that guy and Aaron Dicer are really good friends.
Oh, I think you told me about that actually before.
Yeah.
Was he on Aaron Dicer's podcast for a while too?
They had a little show together. Yeah. But anyway, no, I know that it's a team, but I still think that output is so much that would be affecting that. But anyway.
So TH1 explains his earlier joke about you eating a camera. He said it was about the whole eating on camera debate.
No, I got that.
Well, he thought you needed some clarification.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I think some people in the comments said, "You're like, what are they talking about?"
Okay.
Yeah,
very cool.
I got that.
And then last one.
What else?
Last one from Creepy Spacey. Dan, specifically, what's worse, MCU Thor or Spectre? With an RE, so the Bond movie.
Ooh, that's hard.
Oh, the Spectre Bond movie?
That's hard.
Oh, definitely Thor. Definitely, for me anyway. Like, Spectre was not, like, a great movie, but, like, I like Thor, like, what they've done, like, James Bond still acts like James Bond in that movie, even though it's a badly written script. And Blofeld is like underutilized, but he's not like completely like different from the character that we've known in previous iterations. Like Thor is just the Hemsworth goofing around now, and that's what makes it worse for me, personally.
That is really hard because for me, Spectre as a story makes less sense than Ragnarok. Like when you break it down, it's really easy to say, well, no, all the beats, like I can track them and they make sense in Ragnarok.
Yeah.
But you're right. The characterization in Spectre is certainly more consistent.
I think it just depends on like what you're
look
not for when you go
wrong.
into a movie, right? Like the
Yeah.
characterization is really important. I mean, I know it's important to you too.
Obviously,
Yeah,
but I mean, it's part of the greater whole.
exactly.
Which one is a better story is still something of a question mark, just because they're both bad stories. I don't know. That's tough. But anyway,
Yeah.
Interesting question. Hey DJ, let's do one more pre-written,
All right.
and then we'll end off on that.
Okay, you guys just keep dancing, and I'll find one.
Hey Dan, do you want to see my Spider-Man dance?
Yeah.
Can I show you my Spider-Man dance?
No.
It's real subtle. You may even miss it. You might not even notice it.
Okay.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah. I heard that's how Stan Lee used to dance.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I created Spider-Man.
And there's the bad Tuesday. Okay. What else? What else?
All right, I feel like we've talked about this before, but we can get Dan's take. Do you think anyone will be excited about the FF movies and X-Men movies just because they're in the MCU, or has that ship already sailed?
Are you asking if people will be excited?
Yeah.
You said
Or if
anyone. Yeah, do you think anyone?
In general culture.
Well, your people
I
too, Dan.
That will work out and be successful.
I think it will probably be
I think
successful
so too,
unless
yeah.
they like do something to torpedo the brand between now and then, which seems unlikely.
Yeah.
I think that this like the Marvel brand is like kind of the I mean the Disney live action remakes make money too, and like Star Wars is on a downward trend but still makes money. But like Marvel is like the one resounding success that Disney has in their hands right now.
Every single time it makes money.
Yeah, so like I can't see them doing anything risky enough to like squander that success. So I think people will be excited unless they get sick of the like formulaic, like safe nature of those movies, which people at this point don't seem to be sick of. I would hope that when they do FF and X-Men, by the time they get there, they do something really interesting and different. And I think specifically with those two properties, I'm excited to see what they do with them because I feel like we haven't gotten comic book X-Men or Fantastic Four in a movie yet. Like the Singer movies are great, and like the characterization for many of the characters is spot on and all that. But like we haven't gotten like the I guess like the superficial stuff like the costumes and the look of the X Mansion and some of the classic designs for like the villains and stuff like that. Like the MCU is a universe where Mr. Sinister can exist. He wouldn't have been able to exist as he's in the comics in the Bryan Singer X-Men universe.
Or when they tried it would feel out of place.
Yeah, exactly. So like that's kind of exciting. And the same thing with Fantastic Four. Like I think they need to make those movies as wacky, out there, sci-fi as possible.
Yeah.
To sort of differentiate them from the Tim Story movies, which were kind of like pedestrian superhero formulaic fare for the the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. And Trank's movie, I thought, had a lot of interesting takes on that material, but it didn't coalesce into anything coherent. So that I think they kind of just need to lean into what those properties are at their core because we haven't really gotten that.
Yeah,
and that could be exciting. I'm looking forward to that.
And the MCU is an easy place to make Fantastic Four comic book accurate.
It is.
I mean, it's just a really that's one of the easiest things to do. Like I think if you can, I've never thought of this before. I don't think there's a lot to worry about because as far as popularity, it might not be what we want, whatever. But as far as not running X-Men even farther into the ground, nobody cares about X-Men anymore. Mm-hmm. I think where Spider-Man was after it was like after that second Amazing movie, mm-hmm. and how people felt about that character right then, and how it was rebooted kind of too quickly after the Raimi movies and stuff like that. That was a difficult time to reboot Spider-Man and make it successful, and they managed it, and they just put out the first $1 billion Spider-Man movie.
Sure.
I think after that, X-Men and FF were a breeze. If you pull that off, I think those are way easier.
I mean, I feel like, specifically with Fantastic Four, like, Spider-Man is a much more inherently grounded concept that people can, like...
And one that's already popular.
Yeah. Like, I think the thing with FF, you're going to have to do wacky sci-fi stuff, but also keep it grounded in, of course, like, the humanity of the characters, because that's what makes the Fantastic Four interesting, the family dynamic. Like, I wouldn't be opposed to introducing a Fantastic Four already with Franklin and Valeria.
That's what I want them to do.
Like, I would love if they did stuff like that.
But they've already got... I mean, maybe X-Men is more difficult than Fantastic Four in deciding how exactly you conceptualize it, but in making it, and I know people are going to think I'm crazy when I say this, because like X-Men's already a franchise a lot of people cared about, and it's really easy to say, but Dark Phoenix was one of the biggest flops ever. That's not going to hurt rebooted X-Men, I don't think. Especially because they'll come in with something that looks so different, and MCU has a proven track record. But with FF, it's even easier because you've already got Guardians and you already have that side of the universe figure it out. And so they're already making things that are part of all that as far as cosmic stuff goes. And I just don't think it's that hard to get people excited about those characters in a pre-established universe. If they were trying to do FF without the Guardian stuff and without having already done Thanos, that's hard. But they did Thanos already. I don't think it's that hard.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hoping that now that we have the Fantastic Four, they can become... Like, everyone talks about, like, who's going to be the new Iron Man, like, the linchpin of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, whatever. Like, you know, some people say it's Spider-Man, some people say it's going to be Captain Marvel, whatever. I want the Fantastic Four to be the linchpin of the Marvel Universe, because they at the inception of the Marvel Universe, that's what they were.
Right.
Every significant early Marvel Universe world-building thing in the early days happens in Fantastic Four. I would love if those are, like, the must-see, like, big event movies. Like, that would be so cool. Such a, like, you know, coup to Marvel's history, and like I would love to see that.
I just don't think there's any reason not to make your first movie Galactus.
You think so?
I don't think there's any reason not to do that. So it's a really, especially if they go interdimensional, like I assume they will, because the easiest way to introduce them, and I said this before, this is my pitch. The easiest way to introduce Fantastic Four is they come from a parallel universe and they follow Galactus here.
See, what I would do with it, I have a similar pitch to you, because I thought about this too.
Okay.
I'd have them be from our universe, but they've been trapped in the negative zone fighting Annihilus this whole time. And he's, like, invading, and then you set up Galactus, like, Annihilus is like a henchman of Galactus, and then you build towards him eventually.
How does it make sense for them to be part of our universe, though, unless they were working in secret or something? Because nobody knows about it.
Well, like, yeah, exactly. Like, they were, like, Reed Richards was just, like, a scientist guy, you know, and maybe they don't have the Baxter Building yet or anything like that. They were just like, those characters existed in the universe, and they went to the negative zone, they come out. And, you know what I mean? That's what I would do
that, but I really like the idea of a pre-established Fantastic Four already, and like you said, with the kids and stuff. Like, it's harder to do.
Will they be pre-established?
Okay.
But they just be in the negative zone the entire time we've been in the Marvel Universe. Like, the characters have been in the universe already. They already have kids, all that. They've just been in the negative zone.
But they weren't superheroes.
Well,
in the first place.
Right, yeah. I mean, maybe they got their powers in the negative zone or something. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. Or they could have gotten their powers here and then wound up there for some reason. Yeah. You could have an isolated case where they were fighting something and nobody knew about it, and then they wound up in the negative zone.
Exactly.
No, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah.
No, and that's if you want to keep them from our universe, that's a good way to do it. Sure.
And they're probably going to do something similar with X-Men, I would imagine. Like, whatever they end up doing with, like, Wanda and her reality warping stuff, I would imagine that's going to tie into how the mutants come eventually.
It's just, every time somebody says Wanda, even talking about MCU, it's just really hard for me not to. Wanda! Hey, DJ, do you have any thoughts?
No, I have one more super chat that came in while you guys were talking.
We didn't forget about you, though. We didn't.
It's okay. No, I like that idea. I really like Dan's idea. I haven't really given much thought, but that sounds awesome. Webmaster47 asks.
They could have been fighting Galactus in the name.
And he's kind of making an assumption about me when he says this, but he says, if Dan hates Far From Home, I prefer you do the commentary with DJ. He's assuming that I really liked it.
So Dan and I do all the Spider-Man commentaries together, and no one else is allowed in. So no, I'm kidding.
This is an exclusive club.
It's an exclusive club. It's the Dan Cap Club.
And then he says,
we're still working on that name. My name should be first. I don't know why it's not. Sorry.
We're gonna have to get that guy that made a dad joke out of this show to
Cap
make the
Dan Club.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Sorry. What's up, DJ?
He just said it's not necessarily what I want for Spider-Man, but it's a good movie. So that's what he said.
Well, just wait and see what he thinks of it.
Yeah, he's.
We'll just have to see what Dan thought of it.
I mean, I had like similar reservations going into like the last Spider-Man movie that would be like too Tony Stark centric and all that, but that stuff wasn't as intrusive as I thought it was going to be initially, and I ended up really enjoying that one. So, I mean, I'm willing to be turned around, and if the movie like is good, like I'm not going to say it's bad just because I have reservations about it going in.
We really picked the wrong night to do this show. But we will do a video for you guys. We'll talk about it. We will continue to milk Far From Home for all it's worth. And DJ, unless you see anything else we've got to handle, I think that's going to be... Somebody said they thought we maybe missed a super chat.
That was the one.
Okay, sweet. Are we good now? Are we all caught up?
All good. G-Stone says Donald Sutherland might die soon. He is old.
That's true. Oh. He is old.
I'm assuming he's talking to somebody else.
It's more increasingly likely that they're going to pass on. That's what happens.
David Crapsey Tree said he was disappointed about the Rhino, and I assume he's not in the movie, right?
He's not.
Okay. Anything Crabtree says, I just assume it's not true or a joke.
Usually making a joke.
Yeah.
He thinks that's hilarious. Yeah.
Well, I'm glad somebody thinks it's funny.
He's messing with you. Yeah. What do you want an MCU Rhino though? You want the Rhino?
I think Rhino would be the one that would work in the MCU.
But again, not by himself. I mean, these things only need to be put together. And I think right now, the two of us and DJ, maybe whatever. But it's an exclusive Spider-Man club. Maybe you're here, so I'm gonna leave you out. But I'm not really thinking about you much right now.
I'll just fly on the wall.
Spider on his web.
Pretend I'm not here.
I think right now, you and I can come up with an easy Sinister Six for that universe, even discounting characters we know they're not likely to.
Yeah,
and you start with Vulture, obviously. You put Rhino in there, you put Chameleon in there. That's
Scorpion's already set up. Sorry, I'm not supposed to talk.
Scorpion, again, wait. Yeah, Scorpion and Shocker.
Yeah.
You got those.
That would be like your Electro replacement.
And we're not doing Electro probably, so you don't want a double beat there. Right. And I liked their setup for Shocker.
Yeah.
So there's 5.
I'm the Shocker.
So who's the next one, Doc Ock? Female Doc Ock is the leader of that team. I love that idea. Let's do that.
Yeah, I mean, that
Aunt May Doc Ock is the leader. I'm kidding.
It would be interesting to see because, like, I don't think Rhino, like, as the character he's presented as in the comic books and like every other iteration, could be the main villain for a Spider-Man movie. But I kind of may have said that about the Vulture before they did it in Homecoming too.
That's an excellent point, and I might have said the same thing about Mysterio too. Yeah. Because I mean, Mysterio, is in a lot of standalone stories, but they're not like big epic movies, you know.
No, I mean like Mysterio's big like claim to fame in like recent comics is a Daredevil story.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and it is amazing.
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
But
I've actually read that.
We're talking about Kevin Smith's run.
Yeah.
You can talk now, DJ. It's cool. You said you read that?
Yeah, I've actually read that. I actually know what you're talking about. I followed it.
Yeah. He's following us.
I know what that is.
I got that reference. Okay.
So,
but
time for the wrap.
I think that sounds like if you did a new Sinister Six, I think that would be an okay team now.
Yeah.
Just throughout, I think that could work.
Yeah, I think it could work too. Because the Sinister Six.
I do like Chameleon. Ever since somebody said that, I really want that.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see like what Chameleon would bring to a fight if the Sinister Six were to fight Spider-Man.
Well, if he's got the tech that we were, because I think that's the easiest MCU way to do it. If he's got that, he can just keep pushing a button and keep distracting Spider-Man by looking like different things every time he fights him.
But I feel like Spider-Man, like, you do that once, and then Spider-Man's like, oh, you're the guy that turns into stuff that makes me feel emotional. I'm just going to ignore you and fight other people.
Yes, but you could play it sort of like a Mysterio kind of thing, where he, like, Mysterio's always creating illusions to mess with Spider-Man's head, right?
Yeah.
Like, you could sort of do that with Chameleon, where he just keeps coming up against him, and he just picks things that are, like, really distracting to have to fight.
And he's just going to turn into Tony Stark, right? Like, that's how we're going to get Robert Downey Jr. to make his cameo come back at least once.
Yeah, maybe so. We'll see you later, DJ. Bye-bye. We pissed him off. He's done. We really... Well, I was just about ready to end the show, but we should probably wait and see if the mod comes back. See if we get... DJ! You okay?
When he comes back, should we clap for him?
We lost him. We got to clap for that.
What I missed?
Very important. DJ, we got to clap for that. He's back.
My laptop was about to die. I had to plug it in.
Oh, no. We thought you had enough of the Dan Cap Club. We're going to figure out that name. It's really bad. And just we got pissed off and laughed. We thought you were just done.
I could do that if that would be more entertaining. I'm all for the views, man.
Everybody knows. Yeah, we got no shame here at Geek Pollution. That's why we're making the show with a single light.
A single light.
It's That's what we got. It's
all
not,
the single lights.
it's
All
not-
the single lights.
Do we
That's a
have
throwback.
to end on that note? Is that necessary? Anyway, everybody, thanks always for watching. We sure appreciate it. Dan, this is such a delightful show.
It was great.
Really enjoyed having you here.
I
Thanks
know.
for hanging out.
Thanks for coming to my house.
Hey, DJ, thanks for being here, buddy. We appreciate everything you do, man.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Like, no, seriously. Like,
That was the most patronizing expression I've ever seen.
Really?
You're just like, thank you.
oh, well, I didn't mean it that way. I'm sorry.
You were so sincere, I thought it was a joke.
No, I really was. You did a really good job. And DJ's a great guy.
DJ's amazing.
Yeah.
He really makes the wheels spin.
That's why we clapped for him when he came back.
Gotta clap for him! Everybody, thanks again for watching. We sure appreciate it. Dan and I might do an impromptu, silly over dinner show for you later. It could happen. It is possible. If so, I'm not going to announce it. I'm just going to press a button and we're going to start recording.
We may have to run to the store and get like candles and wine and make it like look like a restaurant.
What a great idea! If we do that, it'll be not sooner than in the next hour.
Yeah, I don't know how long the chicken parm will take. I have to look at the recipe. Probably like 30 minutes to bake it.
Right now, there's like a 65 to 70% chance. I am very seriously considering pressing the button as we're eating. Anyway, so perhaps we'll see a little bit later, and lots more stuff coming from me and Dan over the next several weeks.
Yeah.
We're shooting a bunch this week. It's not all going to come out at once. If you are a patron, you're going to get inundated with extra videos. Dan and I are doing a travel log where we're just chatting about our day at the end of every day, and you'll get those not this week but next week. There'll be several of those, and then we're also going to try to shoot an after dark. So
yes, not try. I really want to do that. So
sweet. Okay. Yeah. So if you are not currently subscribed to Patreon, that may be a reason to check that out if you like Dan Torrey, and I know at least 5 of you do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know why you'd subscribe to Patreon for me. That guy's terrible.
Just $2 a month. We might consider dropping it even lower just for the duration while Dan's there.
Yeah.
And in the meantime, that was a joke. And in the meantime, thanks so much for watching, everybody. Once again, we sure appreciate it. Thanks, Dan. Thanks,
Thank
DJ.
you.
And I was Captain Logan saying good night. Good night.
Bye-bye.